Alright, good evening, people. Good to see you all again. So, yeah, this is, presumably new territory for anybody who's, newer to the channel. That said, this actually used to be something of my bread and butter. We are songwriting tonight, writing a song. I'm sure there's at least a few of you who've, missed these streams, but, a lot of the reason I stopped doing them is because, well, mostly because I started taking on projects that had to be a little more secretive. Had to, was essentially under NDA. Couldn't live stream myself writing songs if people are not supposed to know they exist yet. As opposed to back in the day where I was just writing things and the only person who would have wanted to keep them secret is me, and I just didn't give a shit. Today, on the other hand, is different. This is a song I don't need to keep secret, really. You know, especially considering the intent is right there in the title. So yes, we are writing a song. We're writing a song for a band that does not exist. And for all I know, probably wasn't even supposed to be a band in the first place. But it's how I interpreted it, so... It's how I interpreted it, so I decided, you know what, I'll just take that ball and sort of run with it. Why wouldn't I? That said, those of you who do not follow a certain someone are probably not really aware of what this means, why anyone would write a song with this sort of title, especially if there are any veterinarians or marine biologists in the audience. But that's what I'm about to explain. So, in the title, I have a stream elements command for context if you want to know. If anybody pops in after this who wants to know, but for the immediate moment, you early birds, you will get the full explanation of what's going on here. And what's going on here is something a little like... something to the effect of this. That's right. So what's happening here? For those of you who don't know who this is the one, the only, Koki. Of Rummy and Koki, Southside. That sort of clique. I'd be surprised if you didn't know her. She's a rather famous VTuber. She's so many people know. She's had some big name. She's a pretty big name nowadays. That said, not to sound like too much of a hipster, I've known her since pretty close to the beginning of her career. It was I've sort of watched her grow. It's been a pretty fun experience. I'm happy that she managed to blow past me in a lot of ways. She earned the fame. She is perfectly charismatic. She's amazing. But more to the point, this is her newest outfit. She just revealed this about a month ago. And as you can see, right there on the hoodie, Cloaca. It's one of her in-jokes. I can't really explain it all that well, but what I can say for sure is that it looks fucking amazing as a band logo. So yeah, Cloaca isn't actually a band. This is just something she wrote onto a sweater just for a goof, just because it was funny. But you look at, just look at this art. This is that is a fucking band logo right there. You can't give me that sort of material and just expect me not to want to actually play. You can't expect me, mental gears were turning, we'll put it that way. It just got my noggin jogging a bit. It was like, hey, band logo. Maybe I should actually write maybe I should actually write a song. What would this sound like if Cloaca was a band? If they had a logo like this, what would they sound like? That's what we're about to answer tonight. So we are writing a Cloaca song. And as you can no doubt expect, as you would no doubt expect from a logo that aggressive, it's going to be roughly metal-ish. Not full metal, though. So initially I actually had the idea of a sort of a punk sort of idea. Just because Cookie's not, as far as I know, not really a metalhead by any stretch. That's not really her brand, so to speak. Like, especially if you compare it to this outfit. This is really more punk than anything. But, again, I'm a metalhead, so... Like, this is not really a punk logo, so... I had some room for a creative interpretation here. And then I remembered, there is a subgenre of punk that basically is thrash metal without guitar solos. Crossover. Hardcore. So that's the idea I'm going for tonight. I'm going to attempt to write something roughly in the style of some sort of weird crust thrash hybrid. Like something along the lines of DRI, Municipal Waste, maybe with a bit of nails thrown in, that sort of thing. So, sort of really running the borderline between punk and metal is what I'm doing. Whether or not I'll pull that off, or I'll wind up just going in one or the other direction, that remains to be seen. But you don't know unless you try, so let's go ahead and try. If you'll give me a moment to set up my DAW. And I'm back. So, here we are. This is the DAW, short for Digital Audio Workstation. This is where I spend the majority of my time, if I'm being honest. This is my main tool. This is my weapon. There are many DAWs like it, but this one is mine. So, for those of you not aware, this is Reaper. I would show you, but I can't put the window up. More info than you need is in the top of the window, so we're full screening it. So as you can see, I've already set up the project. I got drums ready, I got bass ready, and I got guitars ready. Well, a guitar. We'll worry about putting multiple guitars in there later on. For the immediate moment, yes, very helpful. So for the immediate moment, I'm going to start this the way I always start writing a song. And that is by opening the one, the only, Easy Drummer. And it sounds a little something like this. Let me know if you guys hear that, by the way, if it picked up. Just, there's some japery that goes on when I need to record the DAW, so, sometimes I've forgotten to put it on, other times I've not, so if you can hear it, just let me know. I'm going to assume it is. OBS is telling me it is, so I can probably safely assume it's audible on the stream. So yes, Easy Drummer. Although before I get into that, there's one thing I forgot to do. I should probably change the BPM. We're at the box standard 120. Not a very punk BPM. Let's bump it up to, we'll start with 190, why not? Sometimes I get an idea for a symbolic BPM, but nothing really came to mind for this one. So we'll just do 190. I wonder if I do this. So yeah, that's 190. As opposed to 120, which sounds like this. So yeah, 120 is not very punk. Let's bump it back to 190. That's more like it. So, yeah. We are here in the Daw, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to throw you all into the deep end. If you have any questions on anything, you can stop me, but for the immediate moment, this isn't really a tutorial. This is just me making a song and having you watch it. If there's anything I want to know about, just stop me if you please, but till then, I'm just going to go full steam ahead. So, the way I usually write a song is, there are several approaches you can take, but this is mine. You see up here, this is the Grooves tab. And this, so this is one way of making drum parts. Usually if you're in a DAW, you would just make a MIDI item and click things in, just note by note. But I don't really tend to do that unless I have a really unique idea that I cannot find in here, which is my illustrious drum MIDI library. So this is thousands, possibly even close to 1 million, pre-recorded MIDI parts. So what happens is, Toontrack or whoever else, usually they bring in a drummer, have them play along on an electronic kit, and that's how MIDI gets recorded, at least in that context. There are a lot of ways you can record MIDI, but for drums, that's the preferred way. Just giving them an electronic kit, something close to their actual wheelhouse. And as you can see, it runs the gamut. We got metal, we got rock, we got some country shit. And especially if we look in here. So yeah, these are all Toontrack. Toontrack are the people who made Easy Drummer. And they have their own drum libraries, but they are not the only game in town. They have some competitors, not just as far as drum software goes, but MIDI grooves as well. And my favorite of their competitors is a small, obscure little company called Ugritone, who specializes in... So the thing about Easy Drummer is that these are very clean, polished drum samples, which is fine and dandy if you want a professional sound. Ugritone, on the other hand, prefers to play a bit sloppier, drier, more raw, to the point that their samplers are largely the same way. You buy a Ugritone drum sampler, and you get raw samples. In other words, not that. These samples are all already pre-EQ'd, pre-compressed. Like, they have processing on them already to make them sound good. That said, they are a little dry, so if you want to add your own effects afterwards to make it suit your style a bit more, you can. But out of the box, it's still very clean and polished. Ugitone's more raw, and that extends to the MIDI libraries. You can, you look at, here, let's compare. So, let's look at, Metal Beats, how's that? Original mix, let's say 150. So, here's an example of a Ugritone. Here's an example of a Toontrack drum beat. So yes, as you can tell, very tight, very on the grid. Not exactly a machine, but it was very clearly made by a very technically top-of-the-class drummer. Which it was. In this case, this is Dirk Verburen playing. Currently the band Megadeth, formerly of basically every metal band, every modern metal band you can name. He's probably at least done some session work for them. Dude's busy. Now, let's compare that to, let's bring up death metal essentials. How about Deadbeat? Here's a Ugritone drum beat. So yeah, much sloppier, much rawer. Little less attention paid to the metronome. But not so little paid that, but not so sloppy that it just sounds like an amateur. Like, this is somebody who was deliberately trying to give it a raw feel. And if you ask me, that's perfect. Especially considering, again, if I'm trying to lean towards more punkish, dirtier sort of vibe, which is what I want for the Cloaca song. It's what I think they would want if they were an actual band. That's what I would go for. So that was a very roundabout way of saying we're going to be using Ubertone drum sample. I mean, Ubertone drum MIDI. We're going to be singing to Easy Drummer. Just because at the moment I don't feel like mixing drums all that much. So we're just gonna pick out some drums. So again, I wanted a punkish feel, so I'm going to. So it's gonna be a short one. Like, it's punk / hardcore. They pride themselves on short songs, so it's probably only gonna be give or take a minute and a half long. So here, let's go skate punk. This is a bit more of a pop punk leaning library. But they have some interesting intros, yeah, the other thing about Ubertone is that they're somewhat shameless with what songs they're doing. What songs they're imitating the style of. So for instance, Blitzbeat. Blitzbeat, what's this sound? Does that drum beat sound familiar to you? If it doesn't, let me give you a hint. So yes, it's literally the beat to Blitzkrieg Bop. But, well, at least this one is. They have variations. Tons of variations. So if you want something like the Blitzkrieg Bop beat, but something that is less likely to be noticed, you can do that too. Like, for instance. Or maybe something like. Something along that line. As a matter of fact, I dig that beat so much that I think I'm going to use it as the intro to the piece. Let's make it official. Song part. Intro. I'm liking that. I'm sort of a sucker for tom-based beats, so I think it fits. I think, especially if we're going for a punk sort of idea, this might work. That said, going into the verse, I think we might as well bump the energy up a little. So let's look in the thrash metal essentials. Let's see, treble double upbeat. Some of these might be a little more technical than we want, but I'm sure we can find something. So, Lombardi upbeat. That's Dave Lombardi from Slayer, for those of you who don't get the reference. Okay, I dig that significantly more than I thought. But yeah, fuck it. There's our verse. And this being a punk song, I'm not really feeling a pre-chorus there. So, I think I'm just going to go ahead and look for what would suit a chorus beat. So, yeah, I want something thrashy, but this isn't the only pack in town for that. A couple of these also have some other thrash-style beats. Like, for instance, deathcore. I know this one has one. See, thrash waltz. Like, we're not using that directly. That's in the wrong time signature, but fake thrash, even better. So there's our chorus. I dig it well enough. So back to the thrash metal pack. Let's see. I forget what I was looking at. Double bass, that's right. Variations, breakdown, upbeat, there we go. Let's listen to this again just to see how much it. I like it. There's our second verse. So back to skate punk. Or was it? That's right. It was over here. Fake thrash. Okay, that's a little too sloppy. Yeah, that's sort of that's a minor problem with some of the Yogurtone stuff. Some of it, there's a little too much in the direction of sloppiness, to the point that it just sounds completely off-tempo. There's a place for that, but maybe not this song. That's more like it. And again, that's a chorus. Song part, there we go. Just a bit of a brain fart on my end, don't mind it too much. Maybe we can do one bridge. Maybe we can do a little bit of a bridge. So let's go back to the thrash pack. Lars Bullet Train. Whoever could they be referring to this part? So yeah, I think that'll make a suitable little bridge. That said, a little too long, though. That's a whole 16 measures. I only want 8 of them. Because we're thrash-inspired. We're thrash-inspired punk, not thrash metal here. And I think we'll just keep it somewhat simple. We'll do one chorus. Where is it? Fake thrash. There we go. Perfect. And now for an ending. And I think I might have an idea for that. Let's be ironic. Let's use, intro variations. Let's use one of these intros as our ending. Perfect. Somewhat. Maybe we can get rid of the second half of that. So yeah, I like that for the most part, but again, I only want the second half. Okay, let me put this back on the line so I know what I'm doing. There it is. Get rid of that. Label this correctly as an ending. Although, let's really make sure it segues correctly. Almost perfect. So let me clear all this out. And here's my preferred ending. Could not be simpler. Pure ending. That's there's one little thing I want to do. So yeah, getting slightly ahead of ourselves, but this is the grid editor. You'll be seeing this a bit more as soon as we keep working on the part, but for the immediate moment, choke instrument, that's what I want. So we have Crash 2. So I'm going to have to stop about here. Perfect. So now, let's go to the other one. Crash 3. And we'll choke that one slightly later. Just for the sake of realism, because a drummer is not going to be able to choke both of them at the exact same time. That's not realistic. Perfection. Nice. So, we're almost done here. It really is that simple to come up with a drum part, even almost from scratch, with a couple of things. I want to swap out some of these fills. Just for the sake of easing the repetition. Make it a little less obvious that I used a MIDI pack. We can do even more with that, but that's for the next step. So we'll stick to the thrash folder for this. Let's take some of these fills. We'll put that there. Let's check the punk folder. Let's see what some of these fills are. A little more sedate. We'll put that there. We'll leave the original fill for the second rep. This I think we can just leave completely alone. And I forgot to label these as a chorus, which it is, so... Perfect. And there we go. So we should basically that should be basically it. Let's take a listen, just see what I got. Because again, it really, if you know what you're doing, it really can be that fast. Short, sweet, to the point. Sounds about right. So one last finishing touch we can add to this, which I say for last because we don't really need to go over it again. So let's go back to the intro. So if we just select every part, let's say, if you look up here, nice simple humanize button. Does what it says, makes it sound less like a computer, or in this case, less like the original recording, and we can just say normal regular. But that's not the only option. Normal, halftime, double time, blast beat. So if we say double time regular, little more variation, little sloppier. That said, we can get away with normal for this one. Humanize normal regular. Humanize normal regular, and we just do that for all of them. Except for this one, I don't know about. Yep, that one normal regular. It's just one of these fills I'm out to do in double time. Select all normal regular. I'm forgetting to do that. That'd make me feel incredibly silly if that was the case, but alright, here we go again. Select all normal regular. Okay, I think this was the fill. I think this was our sticking point here. No, it wasn't. Normal regular. Normal regular. Normal regular. Normal regular. Normal regular. Shit, did I need the final fill? No, it didn't. Okay, this we want to double time it. No, not that. There we go. So this is double time regular we're after. Okay, this one back to normal regular. And then normal regular for the ending. And there's one really important thing that I just realized I've been forgetting to do. These are all center shots, which for more intense styles is something of a no-no. You want rim shots here. With some exceptions, like this looks like an accented roll. That one we probably only want. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that's just a straight 16th roll. So only these notes. Perfect. Now back here, that's real basic, nothing too wacky going on. We can make those rim shots. Yeah, that's a fill that can stay centered. Maybe I'll go back for it later if it sounds really weird, but for the immediate moment. We'll do the reverse. We'll bring all of them over and then, we'll accept the last one on that one. That's a ghost note. I messed up the first time. This pack isn't really heavy on the ghost notes. So to explain what a ghost note is, that's a note that was played really softly on the snare, just for the sake of could be either a songwriting, could just be an articulation if you're a jazz sort of dude, but usually it's for keeping rhythm and metal. Unless I come from a background of one of the less crazy genres. Yep, those are gonna be rim shots. Same story here. Something like that. Yeah, those are gonna all be rim shots. I know it's whatever. Perfect. No thought needed here. Those can just go. Okay, so these high velocity ones, these can be rim shots. Perfect. Okay, so I can't hit space in here. That just starts the song in the actual DAW, not in here. Forgot about that for a moment. I forget that sometimes. So yeah, the whole last section of the song, no snare. Works for me. Unless... You know what, I think I'm going to make this ending my own somewhat. Let's take this crash. And make it a snare hit. Perfect, I like that. So with that, our drum part is done. So let's just drag it all in over here. Whoops. Ignore that. I meant to say the project, not anything to do with effects. So now, just for the sake of organization, I'm going to do some marking. So yes, 1-1 is intro. And we look for measure 4. That's verse 1. So yeah, this might seem silly, but it'll pay you dividends if you decide to do it. Chorus 1, there we go. Skip to measure 21. First two. And then 29 is chorus 2. $37 is the bridge. $45 is the last chorus. $53 is the outro. And then, just somewhere roughly past here, we'll call that the end. You don't have to mark off the end of the song, but I like to, just for the sake of makes things easier, especially if I need to highlight the entire track. So at any rate, that's the drums done. So now comes the part where I have to think of I think of where to go next, but now I know where to go. Bass. So we're going to pretend that this is a completely talentless punk bassist, somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. So if we load easy bass, yes, I am a 2-track fan, but give it away. And the other thing is, we'll be playing in standard today. Standard tuning. Because these punks don't know how. This is standard tuning, this is all they know. We can operate under that assumption, right? So anyways, now for the arrangement part. Question 1, do I want this, do I want the intro to be the same? Do I want the bass to play in the intro? Do I want this to be a drum-only intro? Fuck it, I say it can. So let's hit these grooves. So, much like Easy Drummer, I should probably elaborate on this a bit more. So, much like Easy Drummer, Easy Bass has its own MIDI libraries. It has its own economy of them, but I have bought nowhere near as many of them for bass as I have for drums. Mostly because the way I usually do it is, I do it the old school way of having the bass follow the drums, and they have a function for that. I can just drag the drum MIDI in here. Sort of. I'd have to render the MIDI out, save it as a separate track, but I don't feel like doing that right now, and it's a punk song, so I don't need to think about it that much. Again, we're assuming, I think we're gonna go for a more, rule number 2 sort of bassist. A bass player who's only in the band because he was too untalented to sing or play guitar. So they just stuck him with the bass, just thinking, yeah, that's the easy one. We can just write him as parts for him. And to that effect, basic rhythms. If I'm not imitating, if I'm not following the drums, these are the Lord and Savior. Especially straight, 1/8, variation 3. Nice, simple, to the point. That said, obviously we're not in G, we're in E minor. Did I do something wrong? Oh no, that really was only a measure and a half long. What the fuck? Okay, that's unusual, but we can work with this. Again, punk rock. Okay, 3 measures, that's right. 3 measure intro. It's unusual, but we can work with that. This brings to mind a Metallica documentary I once saw where a lot of the more prog shit they did actually wasn't progressive at all. It was just them writing out a part and thinking, hey, maybe if we cut it off a measure early, that'll just really fuck with people. It'll be weird. It'll be different. Let's just say they're doing something similar here. Alright, now for the verse. I see what I did wrong. I just miscounted, that was all. Yeah, human error. Basic human error. Come on. Okay, so it was 4 measures all along. I swear I know how to count, I was just eyeballing it. And this is why you're not supposed to eyeball it. Alright. So yeah, back to E minor. So to be level with y'all, this is probably going to be completely arbitrary. Yeah, we'll stick with G, why not? Just see how it sounds. Let's go up to B. EGBD. Works for me. I should relabel this part. I almost forgot to do that. So, chorus. Let's listen to this. You know what? Let's be cute about it. Well, let me take the rhythm. The song part. This is a chorus. And I think we'll use the same chords, but at a different speed. Let's be cute about it. So yeah, split these all in half. Delete every other block. And bring the remaining ones all closer together. Let's see how this sounds. Or for me. And again, this is a punk song, and I gotta think about it, so. First chorus, just do the same shit twice in a row. Nice, nice. We're getting somewhere. So now for the last part I have to quote-unquote write. For this, we'll give the same part, but maybe we can mix up the harmony a bit. We'll use the same groove. But I think we'll base this around A. So A, and then towards the end of this part, I think we'll go back to G, and we'll do an F sharp. This is technically supposed to be a diminished, but a punk wouldn't know that. They would know you're not supposed to use diminished chords. They just want to get back to the root. And with that, we can take this, copy it over one more time. That's the last chorus. And now for the outro. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. This I'm going to go back to eighths. So just one measure worth of that. Perfect. And label it correctly as the outro, that's important. Alright, let's go into the grid editor. Get rid of this. Select over here. See, this would be a good time. I think for this part I would want it to follow the kick drum, but I don't really feel like messing with this right now, because, again, I'd have to run around the MIDI, and I'd have to mess on the files, and I don't want to show you that, so we'll just approximate. Get rid of that. So this measures the sticking point. Let's zoom in. So I think that's a 16th. No, it's an 8th. And I got it right by complete accident. And that's our baseline. Quick and to the point. And I forgot to label that as a bridge. See, nice and simple. Unlike the next part, this is going to require some brain power. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and take an intermission. Just stretch myself out, relax a bit. Because next up is the guitar, and again, this is where all the thought needs to go in. So, just give me a second to get my bearings, stretch a bit. I'll be back momentarily. Alright, pardon the hold up, I'm back. So, when we last left off, I had just finished the bass. So, that's the bass and drums done. And I just realized I forgot to actually, Actually, I think the bass could use a little refinement. So, let's bring out the velocity. This is a little too soft for punk. Let's bring this... crank this fucking shit all the way up. And we'll do largely the same. For all the rest of these. Because again, it's punk, it's aggressive. It's supposed to be play it as fast as you can and as hard as you can. So let's make it sound like it was. Because, yeah, this is a nice genre-neutral sort of velocity curve, but again, not what we're looking for. We ain't making some laid-back funk track here. We're making punk fucking rock. Or thrash, or one of the two. A little bit of both. Actually, these are all exactly where I want them. Those I can leave alone. And with that, we can take this and drag it into the DAW. Just to not have to think about it anymore. So for the sake of, let's listen to what we got so far. It's really that simple. And it really is this quick to write a punk song. Yes, you watching this, you can do this yourself. It's really that simple. Anyways, time to rip off the band-aid, time to come up with the guitar part. We'll go part by part. No, we won't. We'll start with the chorus. So let's just take this, drop it into the guitar part, which we'll be using real 8 today. It's just nice, basic. I don't feel like fucking with anything too complex. So first of all, take all this, use the right notes. Extend them out to the... Okay, let's quantize these first of all. Up. Silly me, I forgot to do something. Did I? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. These are too low. This is in the bass's range. We gotta get this out of the way. We'll just hear how it sounds like this first. Okay, take these all. Let's start quantizing them again. That's more like it. Almost perfect. Alright, so there's an action I want to do. Velocity-wise, these sound completely wrong. But I have a way to fix that. Velocity to 100. Now, let me bring up another tool of mine. Not this one, whoops. There we go, step pattern. I want to select every other note. Bring them down the next velocity layer down. Almost there, almost there. Now we make this into power chords. So, snap to E natural minor. And if we... B. So if we drag this up to B, the rest of these should all fall in line. Perfect. That's the chorus already done. That's a third of the guitar work already done. And that was deliberately more punk and simple. And there's a reason for that. Because I'm looking to, this is the chorus. The song will have vocals. I don't know if we'll get to that today. Mostly because I just don't know what the hell I would do for the lyrics for that song. Maybe I'll make it an audience participation thing. Maybe I'll sort of crowdsource the lyrics. Just ask people what they think Cloaca would sing about. But that's for later. For the immediate moment, actually, there's one experiment I want to do. Let's bring these up a bit. That does indeed sound a lot better. More intense, more violent. Exactly what we want. And yeah, so another guitar tone's garbage, but we'll get to that in a moment. I want to write the song before I start mixing it. Gotta work in order here. At least today. Alright. So the next thing I have a vague idea for is the intro. So let's insert a MIDI item. Power chord. Sixteenth note tremolo picking. 16th note tremolo picking. Muted tremolo picking. This measure over here is the same shit, so let's backtrack a bit. Bum 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 bum. Okay, insert chord, power chord, dyads 5. Whoops, a little too early. That was an 8th, not a 16th. That one I'm thinking just straight muted 16ths. And bring this over here. Just like that, we've got our outro. We've got our outro completely done. Perfection. So I think for this one, we'll just have them imitate the bass. Bring it up a bit. Quantize them. Okay, I'm doing something wrong here. Yeah, that's right. These are 8th notes. I should have put that in mind. There we go. Shit, I copied that wrong. Works for me. Let's get the intro. I got an idea. So we'll open with a nice, big fat power chord. And when I say fat, I mean fat. And let's be really cute about this. So, you remember that other tool that I brought up by mistake earlier? Let's bring it back up. Right after I take this. Highlight this note. Let me introduce you to Lunker's MIDI guitar chord tool. This is fucking magic. So, now that I have this downloaded, if I just say... So, there's a bunch of functionality to this, but again, this ain't a tutorial. So, look at that. I click one button and there's a big, fat A minor chord. But now here's where the real magic begins. Strum functionality. Almost. That's what I'm talking about. Destroying a big-ass E chord. So let's make the verses nice and thrashy, I think. But not too thrashy. So I'm thinking bum. I think I'll show it. So something like we did for the outro. Silly me, I forgot to make these mutes. And there we go. With one exception. So yeah, looks are the same for the next two. Just mashing the chord changes of the bass. Copy it over. Deselect that. And I believe it was G next. Copy it over again. And it was a B, I believe. D. Bring this over. Perfect. And that's the entire guitar part programmed. But before we move on, this guitar tone sucks ass. I need to fix it. So let's isolate it. So let's get rid of... Okay, so let's replace this. Let's see, if I were in a punk band, what sort of amp would I use? Let's go with let's go with a Marshall style. Lapoo, hybrid. But I almost forgot. Let's break out this too. 808, tube screamer. Level up, tone down, drive down. We'll make the tone darkish. Let me turn that down a bit. That was my mistake. Alright, impulse time. Let's go for this pack. Honest Samson reviews. Crash pack, how fitting. Yeah, I'm feeling elimination at the moment. But let's see how it mixes with with the rest of the group. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Here are some intricacies that I forgot about. So yeah, this is nice, but what I like about Real 8 is that it imitates the entire guitar. Not a lot of samplers do that. Problem is, you need to tell it what fret to lay at. Otherwise, it'll just assume you want an open position, and it'll do some wacky shit if you make it operate under that. But we can change that real easily. If we switch to control change 78. See immediately. See, if you look at this. Fretting G and an open D. No guitarist in the world would play a G power chord like that. So let's fix that. So first of all, open is here. Only problem with this is that it can be pretty precise. I usually have a manual open for this, but in this true punk, just fuck around and see what happens ethic, I'm just gonna wiggle it around until I find the fret I'm after. It's not efficient, but who cares? That's more like it. See, this D. This is what we're doing. See, that's another funny thing about guitars. See, the thing about piano is that, for instance, there's only one of these E's, but the problem is, the same E occurs in multiple different places on the neck. See, that E occurs on every string. So again, this is why the real top-tier guitar samplers have functionalities to make you more aware of that. That's the one thing that sucks about what I call my personal favorite, Metal GTX. It doesn't have any such functionality, truly. Like, it has a pseudo functionality of this. You can alter the low end of a note to make it sound sort of, kind of like it was recorded on a lower string, but it's not terribly convincing. So, that's why I tend to prefer, I gravitate towards this for rhythm parts nowadays. It's unbeatable for leads, though, despite it being free. So anyways, moving on to the next fret. That's fine, just staying in open position. Didn't really need to fuck with it. This, on the other hand, so it's all fixed. let's hear how it sounds all together. Perfect. And the best part about this, the really sweet thing about this, since these all use the exact same, chords as the pre-chorus, so I can take this and just, for a start at least, CC78, I can just paste it in there, but obviously, as you all recall, it wasn't quite that simple. These change every other chord. So just to ensure. That'll do it. Almost. There we go. So let's see if we fixed it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Although that said, for the sake of consistency, since these were copy-paste jobs, there's really no sense in doing the same shit all over again, so... This is probably fine and open, but again, it'll assume we want it further up the fret. Which is no bueno. Yeah, delete them all. I put it behind. I put it behind the boundary, which means it would bleed into this, and probably fuck up that programming. Not what we want. So, just for the sake of checking... Perfect. And again, just for insurance, we'll put it there. Just to really let them know. Just to really let the program know. Yes, this is supposed to be open. At the open position. Positioning is important. Positioning is everything. So now, let's hear everything in context. Not bad so far, but now I just realized something. Double tracking. That's critical to metal. To any sort of rock and roll. Makes it sound fuller. So now, let's hear what's up. Right after I pan them. Usual procedure, 90% left, 90% right. So the industry standard is to put them both at 100 at their respective directions, colloquially known as hard left and hard right, but I don't like to do that. I find that tends to really screw over headphone users with only one working headphone. Sounds kind of weird if you suddenly mix to mono. Not what you want. Not too desirable. So I keep it at 90. So with that out of the way, alright, not bad, not bad, not bad. Getting there, getting there. So let's do some premixing, because I'm sick of this clipping shit. This needs to get done. Fortunately, that's fairly easy. So take these overheads. Time to introduce you all to my good friend, Dead Duck. And in this case, Dead Duck Filter. This is a high pass, low pass. They have a separate one if you need both, but this is just for one or the other. So high pass, 426 Hz. Clean up the mix. Room. Rear EQ. High passes tend to really fuck with the low end a little too much, so I prefer high passes. I mean, high shelves. Or low shelves, as the case may be. I got this stuff from a blog called Dark Ideas, which unfortunately is down. Might come back at some point, but who knows. But I picked it up from him and it worked for me. So just with those two tips, let's see what happened. So again, something pretty decent, I think. That's a good enough foundation for some really nasty punk vocals. So I don't have any lyric ideas, but I might as well just see what I can do. So, scratch. Maybe if I come up with lyrics later, I might try to actually make this a thing, but for the immediate moment... Okay, let me just take a listen to this. Let me listen to this over a couple of times and see what happens. Na 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 No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 Yeah, I think that idea will work. And yes, this actually is standard procedure, just hollering, yelling into the mic semi-melodically, just to come up with something later. It's, just, don't mind it too much. So at any rate, let me turn the mic off real quick here. And I will record. Almost made a big mistake there. I forgot to disarm these MIDI tracks. Those are record arms by default. Just in case you, want to play with a keyboard, do some, MIDI recording. But I don't. As you can tell, that's not really my style. So, at any rate, let's go ahead and, actually do the placeholder vocal recording type thing. Whoops, forgot to re-enable the mic over here. So to explain what I did again, so what I did here is a little too easy to overlap if you're just recording scratch tracks, and that's just not something I want to deal with. So it's what I like to do at least, just to give myself some leeway. Because if you record one thing, it'll descend into takes, which means a bunch more crossfitting and editing you got to do, and that's a pain in the ass. Don't feel like doing that, at least for the moment. So, anyways, no melodic ideas here. I'm just doing some straight barking. So, let's try this again. That's more like it. So yeah, if you were expecting good singing, then tough shit, I guess. You're not supposed to be so extra this early in the process. Disable snapping. There it is. And then paste this over here. And I think I got a silly idea for the outro. Okay, we can snap it again. Can't use that track, it clipped. So now I gotta do it again. Silly me. I would probably put a guitar solo here. Simple one though. Yeah! That's fucking Cloaca for you, bitch. Or some shit like that. So, there it is. As much of Cloaca's first song as I'm going to work on tonight. Because again, I've still got nothing for the lyrics. Besides, maybe, actually something's coming to me for the chorus. Cloaca, Cloaca, frog. Something like that. I don't know. I'll finish this up off stream. I'll refine it a bit more. But yeah, hopefully I'll finish this at some point, and you'll see what's happening. Or I could just be a troll and just mix this and call it the final vocal. As a matter of fact, let's be extra funny. Let's do it anyways. Let's do some actual vocal processing. Why not? Gate compressor equalizer works for me. So compressor, I don't fucking know. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. So yeah, you would want to put a little more work into mixing your vocals in this, but this is quick and dirty, and plus it's fucking punk. Who gives a fuck? As a matter of fact, this is certainly not a punk trick I'm using, but we'll just do it, see what happens. So, drag these over here. Actually, I think I get the point on that one. Okay, one last stupid thing I want to try. So, we put these both in here again. Or, actually, no. Just this one, just for the chorus. We'll make this a chorus-only effect. So this is a trick I used back in, if you've heard my fan song for Cowgirl Best, the second one. The metal one. Mad Cow. I would pull it up, but I can't for the moment. But anyways, this is a trick I use for that. A way to make a fake crowd sound. And I gotta dig into my folder for that anyways, so, actually, I think I'll just, hit the loading screen up, and, I'll link you to the song and get this done. So, give me a moment, please. Alright, pardon the interruption, I'm back once again. I've lit up the file, and I have the example. So yeah, if you look at this link, that's a link to Mad Cow, Bessie's fight song. And if you skip to the pre-chorus, you'll hear a part that goes, Mad Cow Girl, Cow Girl. This is the effect I use on that. But maybe I can refine it here live for you. Why not? Just give it a little something extra. And I just realized I put this on the wrong track. So, if we do a little of this. Okay, that might require a little, extra work. Perfect. And now to really sell the effect. Another reverb. That was just to make the crowd sound. Now we make the actual stadium. Something like that. Before I go any further, let's hear it in context. I could probably still use some refinement, but technically that's beyond the scope of this stream. Let's just beat it for now, and we'll call it a night with this. So again, this is still a work in progress, but at least the instrumental's done. The instrumental's done, that's all I care about. As a matter of fact, I think I might just release that on its own. And let whoever wants to come up with their own interpretation of what Cloaca's singer would sound like. Because, fun fact... actually, I think we'll switch to chatting. So, as I was saying, little fun fact. Whoops. Silly me, I almost forgot to come closer again. So yeah, fun fact. When I first came up with the idea of doing a Cloaca song, my first instinct was to actually make it something of a old Riot Girl sort of idea. Feminist punk. Because I don't know what Koki's actual taste is, but I could see her being into some girl power type shit. But, obviously, only so much I can do to imitate that style myself, for what should be blatantly obvious reasons. But maybe if I release the instrumental, somebody else will do it. But that remains to be seen. So yeah, we'll get to that. So yeah, I'll release the instrumental probably tomorrow, by the end of the weekend, definitely. But till then, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for coming. Let's find our raid targets, and I will go ahead and get out of your hair until tomorrow night, because tomorrow night is the end of this crazy week I've made for myself. Where I stream literally every day this week, trying to play at being a professional streamer. How ridiculous. Who would do such a thing? I've made for myself. Almost like... But like I was saying, this is not average for me in any way, but again, I felt bad skipping last week, so I decided to make it up this week. Don't expect this a week like this again, because I still got music to work on. Maybe once, maybe if music calms down a little, I'll be back, but till then, yeah. Rest of the year is probably going to be quiet stream-wise. You're probably going to get the same one a week you got the last couple of months, but in any case, thank you all very much, and as a matter of fact, I know who we're raiding. My girl, Marius Bronzewing, is on. Another product of my Dragon Worshipper arc. It's time for you, too. If you have not met the wonderful Marius Bronzewing, then it's time for you to meet her. Trust me, you're gonna love her. She's charming. She's amazing. Fantastic. So yeah, until then, let's go say hello to Marius, but until Friday night. See you all Friday night for some silly singing. Till then, take it easy. See you later.